You know who made it.
How many years have we been trying to go out,
Yeah.
like as friends? You know,
To do an actual trip.
French trip, yeah. So it's like it's crazy. So like the topic that we're gonna talk about today, because it's like again a real touchy subject, is Noboa, first name Justin, right? He actually worked with Cyber and my wife in the schoolhouse on Johnson. Um, 2000, I think it was 18, right? It's
Yeah,
2018.
this should be 18. Yeah, that's when
Yeah,
Kyle was born. So,
yeah,
yeah.
4 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago, he was dealing with a couple of things with his wife, and we're not gonna get into details about all that. That's not our place to be putting their business out like that. But they did have some problems, and he felt like he did not have anybody, and he decided to, you know, do the deed of ending his life. And the way that he was found is very, very sad and very heartbreaking. And it was just very heartbreaking due to the fact that it's like right close, is damn near close to Christmas when it happened.
Yeah.
So, and you know, he was a very important part in our group, I would say, because after that went down, we didn't really go out like that. Like
No.
more of the stuff that we did was like we'll go to somebody's crib and just play video games, like because it wasn't really the same. So, I mean, I didn't work with him. I was close with him because again, like the dynamic was weird as hell. I was in, I got out, but I was still chilling with the active Marines. Like if I still was in, so so the dynamic is different. I know right now, Cyber's wearing the Yankee jersey, in honor because he was a big Yankee fan. That's the one thing that we had in common. Giants fan. I'm a Jets fan. I used to talk shit all the time. Shit, he's a freaking Commanders fan.
Oh,
Y'all in the same division. Y'all talk shit all the time. You know. So, do you have anything? I mean, it's funny because me and Mark were just talking about him last weekend, like on Sunday. That it's gone. It's gonna be 4 years. Like it sucks that he felt like he didn't have anybody or he couldn't talk to anybody, and it's crazy because we would talk about fantasy football. He was in our fantasy football league, and
It was.
like I literally would talk to him like almost every week, and
Yeah, we were talking to him a lot, and then we just didn't at a certain point. Yeah, no, it was tough. It was a really tough time, especially for us in the bullpen, or in our office, sorry, for the schoolhouse. It was kind of shocking for the fact of we talked a lot. He had some issues went down, and the way that our command and everyone around that handled the situation really made him feel distant and apart from the rest of us. And that's what led him to doing what he did. And what sucked was we talked often. We used to go out. We went out multiple times. Not even clubbing or whatever, which we did do that. But we
or the B-dubs, watch football.
Went to B-dubs a couple times to watch football.
Yeah.
Just hung out. Even when we were in the office, we used to stay pretty late, talking stuff like that. I mean, he was a really, really fun, lighthearted, young dude. I mean, he was younger than me at the time. And it was just a lot that came into play with it when he did do that. Because I think when people do that, everyone always says it's a selfish thing. For the fact of you're gone, but it's not the fact that nobody cares about you at the time. Not only does your family lose you, everyone else that you connected with loses you too, and it just kind of made us all feel a little lost for a while. it definitely did for me. I was extremely lost, especially for someone who had those thoughts and stuff before. Seeing someone actually go through with it that was that close to me at the time. Don't get me wrong, I've had multiple Marines do that. Multiple. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's the fourth that I personally worked with that was a really good friend of mine. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot more that I worked with, but like a friend, he was the fourth one.
Yeah.
And it was tough, man. Like, I don't even think that I have still grasped and gotten over what happened. I have not taken off this bracelet once. Actually, lie. I've taken off twice because I've had surgery. You gotta take all the thing when you have a surgery. But the only 2 times I've ever taken it off since he's passed and since I received it, and I look at it all the time. It was a real touchy thing for me too because my daughter was born 3 days later, so it was kind of like I lost somebody and then I gained somebody at the same time. Like, we were still getting over it. Like, we were still like barely going to work. I think that was our first day back when Callie was born. Some of us didn't go back. A lot of us didn't go to work. Some of us did.
Yeah, I know. Myra didn't go to. It was like
Myra didn't go to work. I didn't go to work. Calhoun didn't go to work.
Lewis didn't go to work.
I think most of the 81s did, but a lot of people just didn't go.
Because a lot of the people that he would connect, like, we connected with him, and it's because he's Puerto Rican. It's funny. Yeah, it was young. He was young.
Came from a Marine family. Yeah, like, remember his dad was in the Marine Corps. He still was in when he passed. Yeah, his dad was still in the Marine Corps when he passed.
He had a daughter and a son.
Yeah, like around
our age.
At our kids' age.
Around our kids' age group. It just sucked because, like, I feel like we missed out a lot because our kids never got to, like, the way
meet him and
me and your kids. Yeah, it's like we weren't able to do that with with Justin.
Because he was there for a short time. He wasn't even active for a very long time, but we connected really well. Like you say, he was Puerto Rican, so him being Hispanic, me and him clicked. Like, I just naturally clicked with Hispanics, obviously. I mean, you, my wife. Like, this is the way it is. This is how I live my life. But, we clicked. It was really close. And it was hurt. I was hurt. Lost, confused. A lot of emotions that came through during that time. And still go through on this time, especially around this time of the year when I think about it. When I try to reminisce, try to think back on things that we wish we could have done and wish we could have changed. And that's something that I've gotten to a point where I'm starting to move past that mindset. As far as like, oh man, I wish I could have done this, I wish I could have done that. Yes, there's a lot of that. But at the same time now, I'm more in the mindset of celebrating his life. Like, the very next year after he passed, we went and did the exact same thing we did with him the last time we hung out with him. Went to a hookah spot, went to the same club, partied in celebration of him, of his life.
Yeah.
And we celebrated his life. And that's kind of what we do now when I reminisce and I think about, the times that we had with him. It's all about celebrating his life. That's why I went and got his jersey. I don't care about the Yankees. I don't.
Don't disrespect. If you gonna wear it, don't disrespect.
I don't.
You don't gotta plug in the race anyways, because you a national fan, bro.
Exactly.
You ain't gotta. But
for my boy, I will wear this in all respects to him, because that's my boy, and it's kind of just been a eye-opening kind of thing of, like, doing what I need to do to keep my mind right. Keep him in my mind still to where I don't forget the things that he's done or forget his life that he had, his children, his wife, his family, and of course us, his friends that that he had while he was here. And it's something that I wish that, it's something that we've said multiple times already during our podcast is, you'll have people out there for you. There's always somebody around that cares somewhat about you, and to an extent that you probably don't even know. Like, he probably didn't even know that we cared as much as we did at the time. You know what I'm saying? He probably just thought we didn't. He probably forgot how much we did care.
Even still, we still care about him.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's just
that.
Yeah, it's just crazy because it's like literally after that popped off, that was like I went down a rabbit hole, and it was like Pandora's box because that's when all those thoughts creeped up in my head, and I dealt with that in, the very next year. Not even like a couple of months later, I was dealing with the same thing that he was dealing with.
Yeah, I think it was around like September of that next year or something like that.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
So it's like
19.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just crazy, the fact that it happened the way it did. But it's just like, I really don't try to remember that part. I try to remember, the, motherfucker that was just creeping, standing in the club, just
sitting in the club in the back, you know what I'm saying?
With the motherfucking lip. That shit used to piss me off when you do that shit with his lips, though. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
He was the coolest dude, though. Yeah, he used to sit there. He had to fit it
with the Timbs.
New York with the Timbs. He was New York head to toe, and he used to be at the club. Man, my man didn't dance. My man wasn't doing none of that. He was in the back drinking. He was a Ciroc dude. I'll never forget that either. Yeah. I still got the bottle he drank out of. I still got it. I haven't even drank out of it yet. And the bottle he opened at my house. I don't know if you remember that. It was at my house. Yeah, he opened a bottle of Ciroc. And I was like, damn, bro, you opened my new bottle? He was like, bro, don't even trip. I'm going to drink it. I haven't drank it since, but I still got it. I'll probably never drink it. I'll probably always keep it right there because I'll never forget it. It's always been just that funny thing about him. He was just real chill, real funny.
Yeah, that motherfucker always hit me up. Every time he would see me, it's like he knew what to do to get under my skin. Because he would do it just to fuck with me. And I peeped it. So I would tell him, like, yo, shut the fuck up. Because it's like, I cook, and he's Puerto Rican. But in North Carolina, there's really no Puerto Rican food like that. So he's like, oh, you know how to make coquito? Yes, motherfucker, I know how to make coquito. Oh, you know how to make a pernil? Yes, motherfucker, I know how to. Dude, I get down in the kitchen. Every single time I saw you, ask you the same shit. I'm like, Noboa, shut the fuck up. Go the fuck away from me. Get away from me, bro.
Nah, my man was thug as hell too, bro. Like,
he was funny.
We had so much in common for the fact of how we were at the schoolhouse, especially during that time for me. Because remember, he just got promoted. Remember, he got promoted fast as hell.
Yeah, he did.
He just got promoted because he came in after me, younger than me, and got promoted before me. That man was moving up the chain. So, because think about it, I didn't get promoted till like 9 months later when he got promoted. So. Yeah, he was moving up the track fast. But so he used to come in and like complain about the students and shit. And we were on that same shit, like, man, fuck these kids. Like, these students dumb, bro. He used to just walk up and be like, Cyber, any way you could be able to pick up these students in the morning. I'm like, why the fuck would I pick up your kid? He's like, yo, cause they annoying. I don't want to pick up these students tomorrow. Bro, just pick them up. Take him to chow, and then just run him to the ground. I don't care. Just bring him back to me at 7:30 in the classroom. I'm like, bruh, come on, bruh. Like, how you gonna put all this work on me? But he was just cool, and like him learning and trying to be a better Marine or instructor at the schoolhouse. He was never afraid to ask questions. Like I said, for someone who just got promoted, he was never afraid to ask someone of a lesser rank who'd been there longer to be like, yo, dog, what I need to do this.
He was humble.
Do that in the third. He was very humble, very respectful. And then, of course, when we finally got him out of the school, like, out of camis to hang out with us.
Different dude.
He was a totally different dude. And that made us even more connect. Because he was just really chill, man. Like, we had some of the funnest times ever, like, with him. And he was just a funny ass New Yorker dude, man. Just didn't give a fuck.
Majority of the time when we used to go out, I was the one taking care of the motherfucker. Because I'll take his ass home. I just mad funny.
Yeah. Because he be drinking. You drinking.
He was drinking. And then
he was drinking.
I want food. I'm like, motherfucker, I want to go home. It's 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to go home.
My man was drinking.
I was
He was
like,
cool with it, though. He was real cool with it.
I'm like, all right, let's go to McDonald's, whatever. Drop his ass off on base. Because he lived on base right across the street from the hospital. Naval Hospital.
Yeah. He lived in Heroes.
Yeah.
When he in because he was drinking Ciroc, but was he drinking tequila? I can't remember.
No, yeah, he was drinking tequila.
Was he drinking tequila?
Yeah, that's how we used to get down.
Oh, we went to the Latin club that one time.
Alexander.
Drinking tequila.
Latin night, Friday.
Latin night, yes sir.
Yeah.
Cause we used to go to the old house. That's where we were thugging at.
Oh yeah, the stomping grounds.
We were thugging out there. You know that shut down, by the way.
They shut down the old house?
Dude, they didn't survive the pandemic, bro.
Damn.
It was shut down when I left. It may be back by the time y'all go back, but it was shut down when I left, bro. Never opened back up after the pandemic.
That sucks.
But yeah, man, we was thugging up in there, man. He was so fun, man. Like we had some really bomb times, and that's what I said, man.
I remember when I brought the Domino's to your crib when we pre-gamed, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And then because the thing is, the way we Puerto Ricans play is way different than how y'all motherfuckers play the game. Yeah. So it's just like me and him, we playing, and y'all both looking at us like, "What the fuck are y'all doing?"
Me and Lewis like, the fuck are y'all playing? Yeah. Because Domino's for y'all is totally different from how I play Domino's. So. Yeah,
I'm like, bro, we playing Domino's. He's like, no, the fuck y'all not. I'm like, nah, I play Bones. We playing Domino's. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, no, it was so cool. Like I just remember having just a really good time with him at all times. Just being really chill and really fun. Of course, when it all went down, when it started going downhill, because I mean it was kind of like a 2-week like spiral when everything started. Yeah. I think everything got bad. Everything got bad around Thanksgiving. That's when it happened. Thanksgiving is when things got bad. It was during Thanksgiving '96.
Yep.
Things got bad for him. Him and his wife were having their issues, and then what? Yeah.
Down spiral.
Yeah, you talking about Thanksgiving, and then what? 3 weeks later, he was gone.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Like you barely had time to react to that.
Exactly.
And of course, I had my issues with my command at the time. That I was outburst. I was throwing that shit in their face whenever they were pissing me off. And matter of fact, it kind of helped with another Marine's issues with Dusty. Remember that shit with Dusty?
Yeah.
Dusty was going through the same shit, and I threw it in their face to be like, "Yo, the shit that y'all doing right now is how we lost Noboa," and they changed their entire tactics because of that. And we treated Dusty a lot differently because we didn't want to lose him too.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, and I think that's the issue that goes on with the Marine Corps. Like, yeah, granted,
military.
Like
I'll say military as a whole. Man.
Well, you know what? Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the only reason why I say Marine Corps is because I don't know the branches. You know what I'm saying? That's us. So I'm just going off of the perspective and experience, right? It's like the minute you like you're in a side of trouble, or like you're under an investigation, and it's really like you didn't really do any part of it. Like you didn't do anything. Like you're not guilty of any fucking thing. Just the fact that you're in that investigation or in the grasp of getting NJP'd or getting in trouble, like paperwork wise, you get exiled from the fucking command.
Yeah. They turn your back on you.
Exactly. It's like you don't even fucking exist. Nobody gives a fuck. Yeah. Look at Felix.
We heard Felix' story. Like, he wasn't guilty or nothing. They still, fucking exiled him.
Pretty much.
And then come to find out, nothing happened. He got his shit back or whatever. By that time, he was done. Like, he didn't want to be there no more. So, I mean, I was under investigation right at the end of my tour. Remember that? Yeah. And people did the same thing to me. People were turned on me, saying like, "Oh nah, this is all you, it's all you," and I'm like, I ain't do nothing. And they still turned their back on me at the time, and it happened. So
I think it was just bullshit the way it went down because it didn't have to go down the way it did.
It did not.
Because it's like the fact that he was not even able to see his fucking kids. I feel like that played a main factor in like what's the point of being here.
That's exactly what it was.
That was the focal point of him doing what he did because he's like, why what's the point of being here if I can't even be there for my children, you know? And it's like, that's fucked up. At the way the way they handle the situation is like, not every situation is the same. Clearly, you know, he just said it. The way they handled another Marine situation, they changed their tactics, because of past experience. So it's like, it's just, if you have a friend that's going through something, you know, people that are depressed, they're not gonna just come up to you and be like, "Yeah, I'm depressed," you know. They're not gonna want to talk about it.
Say that.
Like, trust me. Like, there was times that this motherfucker right here, I knew he was going through it, but he did not want to talk. It was to the point that I literally showed up at his house unexpected, like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Because he wasn't answering his phone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have to, like, if that person, or if a person in your life really matters to you, or you really care for that person, take the extra mile to make sure that they're fucking good. You know, because that means a lot. Because I know it meant a lot to me when I was going through my shit. And I know it meant a lot for you, right?
Yeah.
When you were going through your shit. So it's like,
it's just about. That's what it just kind of, it just sucks, man. Like, we just wish we could have, things could have went down. He's a family man too, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was living for his son. Always talked about his son, and then his baby girl too. I mean, he was like in my, he had a boy and a girl, and then he was in my case where, you know, he was really like talking about how he had to change a lot of what he did when he had his daughter, because he had his daughter first. You know, like, yeah, bro, this should have changed you. Should change you real fast. And he went through it, and that was something where it changed a lot on my outlook on like suicide, taking my own life. Because, like I said, I had those thoughts. I had those thoughts for a while, and something that always stuck with me from Noboa was at his funeral, because I saw his kids, and they didn't know what the fuck happened. They had no idea what happened. They were looking at his picture, saying like, "Oh, there's Daddy. Where's Daddy? Where's Daddy?" And it killed me. I was just like, "What the hell? What the hell am I supposed to do?" And like, no one could explain, because his kids were young. His kids were like our kids' age. So you're talking like 3, and 2, 4, 5, something like that. They were young, so they just didn't know what just happened. And I've always put that in my mind, where like, I can't leave my kids like that. So it was tough, man. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, it was a very tough situation. Like, because like I said, I've lost some other people like this. I've lost a Marine that I considered him a mentee. Like, I was his mentor. He's a young kid. You know, I was really trying to help him through right before we went on deployment on ship. And got on ship. He was great. He wasn't on my ship, but every time I saw him, you know, he always came up to me. He was calm. Every time, you know, he came up to me, he's like, "Oh, yo, Corporal, how you doing? How you doing?" And we was all chilling. When he got promoted, I flew to his ship, because, you know, I had to hook up, you know, from the flight deck. I knew he was getting promoted. He sent me an email. So I went up there, got it worked out to where I can go over to his ship to pin him. He was fucking, you know, he was a great Marine. And when we got back, everything just fell apart. I don't know what happened. He went home. Something happened with his girlfriend. And 2 months later, he was gone. Because I went to that South America trip. Very shortly after we got back. Yeah. And while we were gone is when he passed. And couldn't do anything about it. You know, we were gone. Like, you know, it was like, what the fuck happened? And I lost him like that. I lost one of my Marines from Cherry Point like that. One of my embarkers. Like, he was a good dude, you know what I'm saying? He had his issues with the Marine Corps. He wasn't built for it, but he was a really good-hearted kid. And I think he passed like a year ago, 2 years ago. Yeah. And it just sucks, man. I just been having to figure out ways to deal with those situations, and of course trying to, like you said, reach out to people, talk to people. Like, you can ask my APO people. I still try to reach out to every last one of them, because I care about every last one of my APO Marines, and I want to make sure that they ain't forget that I ain't forget about them, because, you know, I just wish that I could have helped out him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do that way more often now, just so I can try my best to do what I can when I can. You know what I mean? So, and I do the same thing with some of my guys from the schoolhouse. You know, of course, you know, I talk to you and Myra, you know, often. You know, I give Myra advice anytime she asks, and then, but I talk to Coates. I talk to 40. I didn't know if I told you that I talked to 40 like a week ago. He texted me like a week ago. Random as hell. I talked to 40. You know, that's always a good time when I can talk to him. It's a random as hell. You know, I still talk to Cass, still talk to Vossage, Lewis. I talk to anybody I can. The Embarkers, Miller, Charity, Rojas, all of them. Still talk to most of them as much as I possibly can. Just because I just don't want people to forget, you know, that you are, like, somebody care about you somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And try my best. At least my best. I don't know.
You know, I just find, like, me and Mark were talking about it earlier this week, or even yesterday, that, like, Camp Johnson, like, the schoolhouse, right? We was literally a legit family. Like, the dynamic, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, our kids play with everybody else's kids. We always got together. If we weren't going out for the holidays, it was always, you know, well tight, fucking birthday parties. Everybody's invited to the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that bullpen was tight.
Yeah.
That bullpen was tight as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about we were.
And that's the thing.
Really
that's the one thing. Yeah, that's the one thing that I kind of miss is, like, that camaraderie ship. And he was part of it. And again, the fact that he felt like he couldn't come to us is because after everything went down, people were judging him. They were, you know what I'm saying? Instead of asking what the fuck is going on, they were over here speculating and assuming shit. And that's one thing I didn't like. I knew for a fact, like, I would ask everything is good, and he would tell me. And it's like, again, I wasn't working with him. You know, I was outside looking in.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, they made us think that way. I'm not even lying. The command made us think that there was something wrong, that he wasn't right, that, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so do me a favor when you play hide and seek. Go hide and seek out there. And then let me know how that goes. But no, you know, they made us think that way about him. They put that type of environment out to don't talk to him, stay away from him, shit like that. When really it needed to be the fucking opposite.
Yeah, we needed something.
Hey, hold him down to where he need a fucking friend.
Yeah, it was funny because that was y'all were instructed for y'all to do that, but Myra was telling me that shit, and I'm like, well, I'm still talking to him because I don't work.
Well, yeah, of course, bro. No, I'll never forget. I will never forget. Cause remember back then I was still sergeant, right? Then he was a staff sergeant at the time, and one of the gunnies literally told me, because I was in his office, and back then that was the office I was in right when I got out. When me and Myra worked together, like right next to each other, that was the office he was in.
Yeah.
And I was in there with him, and one of the gunnies literally told me, this is a staff NCO problem. I'm gonna need you to get up out of here. Literally told me to stop talking to him because this is a staff NCO problem. I never forget it. And matter of fact, I'm telling you that, he probably told me that December, around this time. Right around the time where I could have been talking to him. Nah, they said don't talk to him. This is staff NCO problem. Go get in your office. That was it. Matter of fact, that was the last time I talked to him. Matter of fact. That was the last word I ever said to him. Was like, alright, man, I'm gonna holler at you, bro. And we gave each other dap, and that was the last time I talked to him. Because I was told not to. They literally told me not to, and they got mad if I was ever close to him and shit like that.
Yeah,
that's the type of shit that they was on at the time. You know what I'm saying? They thought that was the best idea, and obviously it was not. Clearly. And yeah, man, command was on some other shit back then, bro. And then I ain't gonna hold you. That was probably around the time where I stopped listening to my command. They told me to not do something. I was like, fuck you. I'm doing the fuck I want. The fuck? I ain't never listen to y'all motherfuckers again. Shit. Fuck that. But nah, man, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, honestly. Like, you know, like I said, I have moved on past the point of,
we're not dwelling anymore.
Yeah. Like, you know, I'm all about trying to remember the cool time, fun times that I had with him. You know what I'm saying? When this shit come around, I'm gonna pull out another bottle of Ciroc. I'm gonna take a shot, cause that's what he would want me to do.
I'll buy you don't drink tequila because I ain't doing that rock no more, bro.
You know, nah. Still Ciroc boy at heart.
I mean, so am I, but yo, like, hey,
I'm older now. I can't be drinking that shit all the time.
Exactly.
I'm 30. I can't be drinking that shit all the time.
That shit hurt. That shit hurt.
Shit be too sweet sometimes. I ain't even gonna hold you.
That is true.
Can't be drinking that shit all the fucking time. But
that shit hurt.
You know, I just, you know, I always think about shit like that where it's like, nah, man, you know, I'm moving past that. I'm happy that I can be happy when I think about him and, like, you know, reminisce. Like, I still got this jersey. I look at it all the time. You know, it's always in there in my closet, mixed in with my jerseys. Always see it, never forget his name. I got his name placard that he used to use, you know, whatever, you know, we used to use for the schoolhouse. I got it right here next to my shit. So I see it every day. Never forget my mans. Yeah, man, it's all about honoring and, you know, celebrating his life at this point.
Exactly.
You know? And of course, I mean, we want to bring it up because it's like, you know, you could be dealing with, you know, the loss of somebody. You know, we talked about, you know, if you ever feel alone, you got someone to reach out to. You know, we've given you the suicide hotline. We talked to you about suicide prevention. Kind of what I want to say today is like, you know, we're celebrating life. Like, you know, like that grieving process of losing someone in this situation. You know, it hurts. I know it fucking hurts. And it, you know, I can't really talk on a family member or something like that, and I'm sure it hurts more. But we do want to mention that the fact that at a certain point, we want to start celebrating his life or celebrating that person's life in a way that they would be happy that we still remember and celebrate that life. Because, you know, I mean, he wouldn't want us sad and shit. He wouldn't want us sad and shit. He would want us chilling, taking a drink.
I'd probably be hella ecstatic that Aaron Judge fucking signed that.
Hell yeah! Re-signed with him. Had that historic ass fucking season last year. My man would be hype as fuck. He'd be sad that they got knocked out of the playoffs. But you know what I mean? He's ecstatic as fuck right now. Looking at the Giants and how they had that huge turnaround. Think about it. When he was watching them, that was back. That was back in the early Daniel Jones days. It was tough. Like, he was not about that. You know what I mean? So, you know, he would be very proud and happy to see where things are. And that's what it's all about. We just want to remember and celebrate his life at this point. Because I love my mans, bro. Like, my mans was funny as hell. Always having me have a good time. And
I mean,
definitely want to remember him in that light.
And that's why, and honestly, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm glad as hell I waited until afterwards to start drinking with y'all. Because honestly, like, I was DD every single time we went out. And I mean, I'm not complaining. That was my choice. I chose to do that. I was getting drinks. I was getting drinks put in my face. Like, yo, like, no, I'm not doing it.
Fuck that.
I'm good. I'm good on it, bro. Baby. But yeah, I remember all the times that we went out. It was dope. Like, it was funny. Him over here, like, fucking, like, he was a troll when we went out. He would try to holler at the girls, but then be like, nah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Bop out, disrespecting
people. Yeah, on some disrespectful shit. And it's just hilarious to see him do it.
He did want to fight, though. He was one of the ones that would be down to fight, though.
He's an angry drunk, bro. And it was like, bro,
he was worse than me. I'll be the type to try to fight, but, you know, I'll be trying to sneak on somebody.
It's like
this motherfucker will get in your face.
Louis, bro. You and him and Louis, bro. I swear. Like, I have my hands full with y'all motherfuckers, bro.
Oh man, no, but this thing, I'll try to make fun of somebody enough to make them want to fight. Lewis and Noboa will want to fight off rip. They just don't give a fuck.
Like, you look funny, like
I would try to antagonize somebody to fight. That's my whole thing. Crazy. I was like, somebody look at me weird. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah.
Oh, broke boy, not sitting in the VIP.
We were stupid for that. I'm gonna be honest.
With the VIP shit?
Yes.
Nah, that shit was good. That shit
not for the price.
It wasn't even that bad. Like, we were getting bottles for like $120. It really wasn't that bad. I ain't even gonna hold you. We really didn't spend that much money.
It was down like $250 at one point.
Yeah, I think we had multiple bottles at that point. We were spending that much.
And then it's mad funny. It's mad funny. I think it was Calhoun was like, "Oh yeah, are you gonna give us 40?" I'm like, I ain't drinking that shit. No,
no.
Fuck you. I'll give you 20 for the spot.
No, I think.
I'm like, bro, I'm taking y'all.
Yeah, no, we never even made you pay. We usually paid me and shit because you didn't drink.
I'm taking y'all motherfuckers home. Like,
I mean, shit, man. Hey, listen. We go out again. I'm telling you this right now. If me and you go out again like we did last time, I don't give a fuck where we going. We gotta make sure we get somewhere VIP, somewhere I can sit down. I mean, you saw me at the bars and we were going out. I was like, "Ooh, is that a seat?" Don't mind if I do. Fuck that, man. I gotta sit down. What's up? Why are you taking that off, bro? Why you gotta be like this? Destructive. Okay, bye-bye.